cross apply in SQL Server is a hidden gem that only comes out on special occasions. Imagine you have a customers table and you have an orders table. A standard join would get you all customers and all of their orders. However, a cross apply can let you do something a little bit different and a little bit more special. Imagine you wanted only the top 3 orders or the last 5 orders. A cross apply lets you do that. The way cross apply works is that you have a function that can execute on every single row of your result set. So in the case of our customers and orders, rather than joining directly to the orders table, instead you would do a cross apply where it basically has, let's call it a subquery inside of it rather than a standard join. And this will allow you to execute custom SQL, as the example I described earlier, where you can get the last 5 orders. Now that's just one example of a cross apply. Another example would be, imagine you have a column called colors, and inside of it there's a comma delimited list of colors: yellow, comma red, comma blue. Now let's say you wanted to split those colors into 3 different rows rather than just one column. Using a cross apply, you can apply a split function that would split on the comma, make each color its own row. Why is this useful? It will allow you to actually apply standard filters and order bys or group bys on those colors rather than trying to do some crazy complicated split in line. Those are just a few examples of how we can use cross apply. All right, enough chit chatting. Let me go over to my desk and I'll show you a few examples of how to apply the cross apply. All right, I'm back at my desk and ready to go. To start, we're going to need a couple tables and some data in them. So as you can see here, I already have SQL Server Management Studio open. That will allow us to run some queries, create tables, add data, all that good stuff. So to start, I've already got a database called cross apply. Now I need to add some tables to it. We're going to start with a basic customer table where we'll have customer ID, it'll be an integer, and we want to make it identity. And we'll just put a customer name, keep it simple with a string, and we'll save that as our customer table. Now we also need a product table, so we'll have product ID, int, also be identity, and we'll have a product name, and we'll have colors. And this is what we'll get to a bit later when we have our comma delimited list of colors. And hit save. And finally, we need an orders table. We're going to keep this once again pretty straightforward. Have an order ID, a product ID, and a customer ID. All right, so we got our tables created. Now we need to get some data populated. So we'll start by adding a customer name. I guess we'll just go ahead and make 3. All right, so we got our 3 customers, and now let's add a couple products. So we'll have t-shirt, we'll add a few colors: blue, gray, white, black, red. We'll have coffee cup, and we'll go just white and black. And finally, a phone case, which will have blue, white, black, and red. And finally, we need to create a few orders. All right, now we got our data all ready. Time to do some basic queries. We're going to start by creating a new query, and we'll just do some basic selects to get some ideas, and then we'll add the cross applies afterwards. So to start, I'm just going to do our standard product query that we would do for anything. So as you see here, basic query, there's our list of products. All right, now we need to do our first cross apply. So right below the from, where you would typically add a join statement, we're going to do a cross apply. And in this case, we want to do a string split. and that will be on our colors column. And we're going to split on commas. We're also going to name this colors so that up here we can also select it as colors dot value, and we'll give that as product color. Now if we run this, we'll go ahead and see that now our columns that had commas inside of the colors are now 1 row per color. So we see we got 5 rows of t-shirts, 2 rows of coffee cups, and 4 rows of phone case. Pretty cool. All right, now let's expand this. So we're going to do some standard joins to our order table and customer table and see exactly how this cross apply can work. All right, let's go ahead and extend this original query to do a little bit more work. We're going to start by inner joining our order table. We're going to go ahead and inner join to our products table. And we're also going to inner join to our customer table so we can get some customer detail as well. And we're also going to want to select a little bit more data. So that will be the customer ID and the customer name. And now that we run that, we can see all of our customers and all of our orders. And it's kind of just sorted by product ID right now. Now, as I mentioned earlier, we can actually filter on these colors. So let's go ahead and update this query to all products with the color blue. And there we go. Now we can see a basic cross apply where we've split the column of colors into different rows, and we've even filtered on them to only see orders for products with the color blue. As I mentioned earlier, cross applies are not simply limited to things like doing a string split. Instead, let's go ahead and make a new query that's going to get us the customers sorted with the most orders created, or I guess purchased. So I'm going to leave this original query here. However, I am going to take this little part of the data and so that we can reuse that. As we can see, we don't have the colors, so we'll remove that. All right, now we need to make a new type of cross apply. This cross apply is actually going to do a subquery to the orders table. So we're going to do a select count star as order count from order and filter it to our customers. And we'll name this as order stats. Now let's go ahead and update our select statement to include this as well. So order stats dot order count. You can also sort by the highest number of orders descending. And let's see what that outputs. There we have it. We can see that customer 1 has done t-shirt and coffee cups. They have 2 orders. Customer 2 has phone case and t-shirt. They also have 2 orders. And customer 3 just has 1 order of a coffee cup. And there we have it. 2 simple examples of cross applies. As you can see in the second cross apply as well, that we're querying from the order table again, and we're joining on our original order table customer ID to our new order table customer ID. On each row returned, we're actually executing this every single time. And that's what makes the cross apply different than a join. Now, of course, say our orders had some created date. We can also change this query to say, just get the top 3 latest orders. But to keep it simple, I think that's good enough for today. Hopefully everything makes sense. Happy coding.